What's up, everybody? How you doing today? So, first and foremost, thank you all for joining. We're going to have an amazing time today. And just to get a couple of things out the way, hi everyone. My name is Uche Maple. I provide leadership development, workshop development, career readiness for individuals, for organizations, and for higher education on how to thrive in today's marketplace. What we're going to be talking about today specifically is how you can stand out, how to pivot, and how to be resilient in today's marketplace. We have a great session today. We're going to be provide ask comments, ask any type of questions that you have. It's going to be amazing. We're going to have an amazing time. So for the next 45 minutes, what I want you to do is to make sure that nothing else is happening around you, to make sure that you have a pen and paper or even have your phone so that you can take this information that you're going to be learning today on how to job search for today and tomorrow. We know that you have everything you need to get the right job with the right salary and the right cost that you're looking for in today's environment. So let's get started. For those of you that are watching, tell me, where are you coming from? What city and state are you representing? Put that in the comments field. Okay, so let's get started. Again, my name is Uche Maple, and we're going to be talking about how to pivot and be resilient in the job search today. Of course, today is June 4th. We know this, and let's get it going. How awesome. How many of you are excited about this today? Or is it just me? Is it just me? Maybe it's just me. I have been looking forward to this. Hold on. Let me see what's going on here. I have been looking forward to this for a long time. So I am just excited. I'm trying to get this slide deck going. You know, sometimes it's like, yo, Uche, we want to do this. Yes. Okay. Because I got to make sure that everything is going on. So we did work this out, but just want to make sure that we got it going on today. Okay, so it's working. All right. So how to pivot and be resilient in the job search today. So here's the thing. When I was working with a potential client, and one of the things that kept talking about, let's just say her name is Sarah, for instance. Sarah was someone who was recently laid off, and she has been looking for a job since last year. And she lost her job in December of last year. And within 90 days, she was trying to figure out how she could pivot. She was a marketing manager, and she was trying to figure out how can she pivot into a different area. And one of the things we're going to address is some of the processes and strategies on how she was able to do that. Here's what I want to tell you is that as she was transitioning into looking at something different, of course, this is before everything that happened in 2025. But what she did was she was able to leverage her marketing skills and learning how to use it by incorporating AI in today's environment, which made her stand out more and more valuable. And she had the degree, she had the experience, and she was in marketing, but now she was learning how to use those tools in an effective way by streamlining a lot of things by using the artificial intelligence that was in the tools, and then also using the AI tools with different types of platforms. So, and as a result of that, she was able to find something very quickly in her field. Now, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling overlooked, and you're worried about what job security in this environment, here's what I want you to do. In the next 45 minutes, I'm going to show you the exact 3-step process that I have used for myself and how to help other people to not just survive in this environment, but to thrive. How does that sound? That sounds okay? All right. So let's get started. So let's be honest. The market today is brutal. I have been seeing so many trends on people saying that they're getting ghosted after interviews. They're being stated that they're overqualified and underqualified, and then they're applying nonstop and hearing crickets. How many of you can relate to that? Go ahead and put in chat like, yes, I have seen it. I've seen the trends. Actually, this has happened to me. Go ahead and put in chat, because this is why you're here today, right? You're trying to figure out what is happening right now. And the job market is just brutal. That's just what it is. It's just a brutal environment. And it's not your fault, right? Because before, in the past, maybe 2 years ago, even though people were saying they were having a hard time finding jobs, it wasn't like it is now. The reality is the game has changed, period. The game has changed. Your resume alone will not cut it. And I think just because what is happening now, so many people who have had jobs for 10 years, for 20 years, and now they're like coming into the workplace, trying to find the market, trying to find jobs that they haven't done before. And they're like, oh my gosh, what's happening? The reality is AI and outdated job search strategies are keeping you invisible, because those tools that they're using for the applicant tracking systems, they do have algorithms in there. Yes, the people behind it is setting it up. This is true, but sometimes they have those default states. So you are staying invisible, which is why the resumes alone won't cut it. Okay. And what I'm going to show you today is how you can leverage what you already know, how you can turn rejection into momentum, and how to become the obvious choice for the job. Visibility is the key. Visibility is the key. So who is this training for? This training is for you if you were laid off, if you've been laid off since 2024, and even before that, and you haven't found a job. You're applying to jobs but not hearing back at all. You feel invisible or out of touch with today's hiring world because you keep going to all these different events and you keep hearing different things. And every time someone tells you something different, you try to go implement that. It's insane, right? It's insane. So that's not what we're doing today. I'm going to provide you simple, easy to use strategies and examples of other people who have done it. You're stuck and you're getting to you're starting to question your confidence or yourself, like, wait a minute, what's going on? And you're ready to pivot but not sure where to start or how to stand out. Ready to pivot means that what you have been doing has not been working, and you are ready to completely stop what you've been doing and move into something different in the way of how you're finding a job, and you don't know how to start because everything has changed. Everything that you thought you knew how to do on finding a job has changed so significantly that you're like, I don't even know what to do anymore. So that's who this training is for. Hi, everyone. My name is Uche Maple. I am a former engineering executive and entrepreneur with 20 years experience in senior leadership roles within the aerospace and defense sector. I have recently pivoted from the engineering field into entrepreneurship, and I am a certified Gallup coach. Right now, do me a favor, if you have not done this already, go and connect with me on LinkedIn. Connect with me on LinkedIn so that you can get career tips and strategies, so that you can also DM me, ask me questions, even in the comments that I'm posting when I post content, because I'm providing information that you can use in today's environments that will help you find a job, your next opportunity. So this is what we're going to cover today. What most people, listen, we're going to cover three things: why most people stall or they're spiraling during their transitions, and what to do instead. A lot of us are overwhelmed and burnt out. We think that we've just been applying, and it doesn't work. If you have been applying for jobs for 8 weeks and you're not getting any interviews, I'm going to ask you to stop. Stop it. Do not continue the madness. We're going to cover a mindset method on how to stay motivated, even when the market says no. And then, of course, how to position yourself to rise above the noise and bypass all the AI gatekeepers. Okay? So in chat right now, what I want you to do is type in chat if you're excited to stop feeling stuck in your career path, if you're excited to discover how your hidden transferable skills, if you're ready to build unshakable confidence in yourself, And you want to be able to learn how to create opportunities instead of waiting for them. And the reality is, you want to be able to land the role of your choice. So this is not a theory that I'm talking about. I have been doing this. You're going to hear my story on how I was able to pivot and shift when I was laid off. I am going to give you specific actionable strategies that's going to help you push and move through where you are today. So, I love this. They said, there's like the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Okay. So we're not going to think about what we should have done, what we could have done, but we're going to talk about what we can do now. So let's plant the seeds of your career transformation today. Yes, yes. Okay. So stay to the end. I'll have a bonus gift for you so that you don't leave here empty handed. Now, I've talked about this. The job search landscape right now is insane. It's ridiculous with the amount of opportunities out there versus the amount of jobs. And the reality is, people are saying, hey, I don't even know if these opportunities exist. If you're part of the community and you follow me on social media, I've given some tools and techniques for you to know that the opportunity exists and how to move towards that. If you missed the last training I did, what I want you to do is at the end of this, subscribe so that you can get access to the last training. This will give you actionable steps on how to find out when jobs are real and if they're not. So back in 2008, I don't know if a lot of you remember this. I was one of the ones, when the housing market was crashing, when they were like letting people in private industries going, like 60,000 jobs was lost in a single day. This was back in 2009, 2008, 2007, 2010. It was insane. And I was one of the ones that got let go. Okay. What's interesting is that as all of this was happening, I had to figure out how to navigate what was going on because, I was coming, it was two of us, me and my husband, we was a 2-parent household income. And if you can imagine, when you have 2 incomes and you're going down to 1, it's insane. It's a culture shock. I had to do 3 things in order to reset what was happening. I had to become flexible, I had to become adaptable, and I had to become intentional. Write that down. Flexible, adaptable, and intentional. And I created a strategy where, because because everything was changing, I had just had a newborn child. I was actually let go while I was on maternity leave. So think about this. I was on maternity leave. I was let go. They gave me a letter of furlough. And what that means is that when you're on furlough, you are not allowed to work. And I knew that this was not an option for our household. So because I had nothing else to lose, I asked for an exception. And I was granted an exception for me while I'm on furlough to be able to find something, because we got a new mouth to feed. So which hence is what positioned me to have that type of mindset of being flexible, adaptable, and intentional. And a couple of things that I did back then was I only interviewed on certain days, which was Mondays and Fridays, to reduce the stress of having a newborn and being able to manage my time. I also opened myself up for contracting roles because that provided more flexibility. And then I targeted 5 specific companies. I didn't look at any other companies. It was just those 5 particular companies that I targeted in my search. Now, just by doing this, that shift provided me clarity, control, and confidence, and eventually led me to a higher paying job and a better role. And this strategy worked not just because I worked harder and applied to more jobs, but it's because I've got more clarity, I became intentional, and I became focused. And it made me realize something, that most of us were taught that just a regular search model works, where you just go online and you apply and that's it. But that no longer works. It didn't work then and it doesn't work now. So let's break down these top beliefs that keep so many people stuck when they're trying to find jobs. And those are my 2 kids. This is what was happening when I got let go, was I just had a newborn. So my point is here is that I get what's happening. I get how it feels. And that transition in itself is not for the faint of heart. But these are three false beliefs that I had to overcome in order to find out in order to get to the next level of what I was seeking. The first false belief was apply enough to jobs and something will stick. That doesn't work in 2025 because social media has shifted and changed how we look for opportunities today. Job boards are overcrowded if you're not aware of that. The ATS filter out most resumes because if you think about it, they're used to, if you're an HR recruiter and you post a job, more than likely you probably get maybe 50 to 100, maybe 50, but now you're probably getting 3 to 500. So they now have to put stricter controls on there. So it's filtering out the process. And then generic applications rarely make it past the first screening. So if your resume is not targeted towards that job, it's impacting you, right? And what happens? You feel discouraged, you lose your confidence, and you start applying to anything hoping that something will land. And that leads to what? That leads to burnout. The second false belief we tell ourselves is that my resume is the most important most important part of my job search. You spend so much time fixing your resume, and that doesn't work in 2025. Because resumes, when we get as a hiring manager, as a former hiring manager, when I get a resume, I am like skimming through this really quickly in the next 3 to 6 seconds to see what stands out. And without a strong position, even the best resumes, they're just going to blend in. So as a hiring manager, we're also looking at your online presence and communication style and not just your experience. And because of that, here's what actually happens when you're focused on your resume so much. You spend so many hours formatting and perfecting it. Your application still go unnoticed, and you start second guessing yourself. And within the last 2 weeks, I have talked to so many candidates in the market. And everyone, last one of them are second guessing themselves because they've just been applying and they've just been going to things like, let me go here to this career fair. Let me go here to this job market. Let me go here. They're teaching this. And because you're going all over the place, it's exhausting, which is why get one place here in our community and just learn the tools and techniques that we're providing. And the third false belief is that LinkedIn is just a digital resume. That doesn't work in 2025. So LinkedIn is no longer optional anymore. People are using this to leverage how they're finding jobs today. And it works. It's where most recruiters and hiring managers go first. Your activity, your profile. If you look at it this way, you know how like when you're in the workplace and when you're looking for jobs, when you're in the office and you go to someone's office that you know, you're like, hey, do you know if such and such is hiring? I'm actually looking for something. And they're like, you know what? Let me go see. That's the same way with LinkedIn. Instead of it being an office setting, it's just digital. And you know what's great about that? Is you get to access so many people so much. You get to access many people in a shorter time frame than you would being in the office. That's the difference. So what happens is that when you are not utilizing LinkedIn, you have a profile but no engagement. And most of us that's in there, let's keep it 100, your face is covering the picture. Where your profile picture is, we can't even see you. Go to my LinkedIn and see you want to be able to see the full face. We should not see a close up. It looks just like this. This is how you look. You see that? You look just like that. No one can see you. So we want to see the full face. Let's see the full face, okay? Put a comment in here if you're saying I need either my LinkedIn profile picture is great or you can see my full face. Go ahead and put that in the comments. Let's see. But we want to make sure that we can't see your full face, okay? So the reality is this: in Maryland alone, as an example, because that's where I am, we lost 27,000 jobs in 4 months. And right now, a lot of people are competing for the same roles. And so that means that the market is saturated. Okay, so Roy said you can see my full face. Good. I like that. But the market right now in Maryland is saturated. So since we're in a saturated market, how do you think you're going to stand out? And the more interviews that you have, the higher chance, right? Which is the probability you have a chance of landing a role. I always say this, all you need is one yes. You just need one yes. So here are the 3 strategies on how to pivot and be resilient in today's marketplace. The first one is how do you pivot? What's your pivot positioning strategy? You do not need to start over. You know, when I did a talk a couple of months ago this year, and a lot of people who got laid off was like, well, they had been in HR. Well, I want to go to AI. I want to go to cybersecurity. I want to do this. And I'm like, yo, that's great. But can you afford to stay out of work while you learn that training for 2 or 3 years? Leverage what you know. And be okay not having a full-time job. Be okay with just being a contractor, maybe a freelancer. Because as long as you have some type of income coming in, that is the goal, right? Your story is your superpower. Frame your experience around the outcomes you've delivered. You've been in this industry for a long time. I always ask this, why should we hire you? Why should a company hire you? What do you do? And what I typically hear is, well, I'm a project manager over this, and I did this. That's not value added. What did you do? If you cannot articulate your value and your positioning, then that in itself removes you from the equation. Do not focus on what you don't have. Instead, leverage what you do have. What makes you unique? The job market doesn't just reward experience, it rewards relevance. I put this example out here on you know, what you do. So here's an example for a project manager one. It says, I help cross-functional teams solve project delivery delays by implementing streamlined project workflows to deliver on time. If someone were to ask you that, could you articulate what you did? So I'm going to put in that framework into chat. If someone asks you, what do you do? I help, I provide, I solve. Who? I help who solve what by doing how, which is what I showed here. I help cross-functional teams solve project delivery delays by implementing streamlined project workflows to deliver on time. You will use the vocabulary in your industry. That makes sense? Yes, yes? Yes, 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 yes. Okay. The second thing is during this pivot shift, small language shifts equal big visibility wins. This could be on your resume or on your LinkedIn profile. What we often see is project manager with 10 years experience. Okay. And when you reposition yourself, project leader, delivered 4 million plus in programs, you agile plus cross-functional team expert. Huge difference. Huge difference. You don't need a new degree. You just need new language. Tell me, can you see the difference in that? Put it in comments. Yes, I can. This is great. You're absolutely right. Huge difference. If you know how to position yourself in a sea of other people, you will get that job. I promise you. I've done it and still do it to this day. I feel like I'm talking to myself. I feel like I'm talking to myself. So the second thing is the resilience reframe method. What that really means is reframing how you think. I was talking to clients this week and last week, and a lot of them was just really burnt out. because they had just been applying. They were doing it like a full-time job. And I say this, I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to even say this. If you've been applying for a job for 4 weeks and you haven't even got an interview or so much anything, please don't keep applying the same way. I am asking you to shift how you do it because it doesn't work. When we're being resilient in this marketplace, you cannot take rejection personally, even though it feels like it. Even though it feels like it. But to use it. Rejection is data. It's a data point for you. It's a data point for you, not the identity. It's just a data point. Every no reveals something to refine, which is either your positioning, your messaging, or your timing. Yes, companies post jobs that they already have an internal candidate for. This is true. Company also posts jobs that they have an internal candidate for, and and interview an external candidate and have given that external candidate the job. We cannot take it personal because you blew them out of the water. And resilience people don't bounce back, they bounce forward. Hello. Because you're shifting how you see things. Resilient means to keep going. And we can't take it personally. And then we come up to under that is the resilience cycle. So I'm going to give you 5 steps to reframe any setback that you may feel anxious of. Because the reality is that if you've been working for a place at least 10 years plus, you're experiencing comfortability, you're experiencing you feel confident in your role. You don't feel as if you're being going to be let go. There's comfort there. There's predictability. You know what to expect. It's continuous. And when you are in the marketplace trying to find something, or even as a contractor, or even as a freelancer, you can feel anxious because you just don't know how to navigate. And that's okay. This is new for you. It was new for me. It was new for me. So here are 5 things that you can do to reposition your mindset and to give your body some comfort. What I want you to do is to just take a moment and pause and just acknowledge what you feel so that you don't think you're going crazy, because you will feel like you're going crazy. Just acknowledge it. Okay. Take a moment. The second thing is I want you to extract. What did I learn from this? You got let go, and you've applied for maybe 10 jobs and no interviews. And you might have got only 5 rejections. And the other people, the system is not sending you anything. What do you learn from that? How are you reframing what you're telling yourself? One thing I know is that we were not designed to be against ourselves. We were not. So you have to reframe the conversation that you're having in your mind. You are wonderfully made. You have value to add. And you have to keep telling yourself that all the time. Even get off social media where you're hearing people say certain things. You don't even need to have that information in your mind. So reframe the conversation that you're having yourself. I want you to reset and focus on your strategy. Look at what you're doing. Because is it working or not working? And then take one meaningful next step. Worry about today because tomorrow has its own troubles. I'm saying I can tell you this because when I was looking for a job, listen, baby, I remember interviewing for a job. And you want to know what's funny? When I was interviewing for that job, the person that was on the call was cussing a lot. And you know what? I thought that it was cool for me to cuss. I was cussing so much. He was like, I like her. And guess what? He wasn't even the hiring manager. I was so embarrassed. I said that was a lessons learned. Refrain. What did I learn from that? Don't ever cuss in the interview anymore. So, my point is take a moment to pause, extract what you learned, reframe the conversation you're having in the house, in your head. What narrative are you telling yourself that is false? Refocus on how you're moving, and then just take one meaningful next step. And you may have to do this every day. I want to be clear. You may have to do this every day, and that's okay. That's okay. So I put in chat that progress is greater than perfection. Action builds confidence. When you have those incremental wins, whether it's you get one interview or someone says, hey, you've made it to the last round, or if they're like, hey, we want to offer you this and the salary is lower than what you expect, action builds confidence. Action builds confidence. Action builds confidence. You got this. You got this. Give yourself some grace. And the third strategy is how to attract, don't chase. Listen, there is something very attractive about being attractive to the employer. Okay? It's okay to be attractive. You don't have to chase everything. Chase everything is when you are working in a reactive mode. I'm not saying you shouldn't do both, but be attractive in a way where someone, you want to be so attractive, and I'm saying this on social media, where someone is like inboxing you like, yo, how do you know this stuff? Like, how are you even able to engage in this? Tell me, what are you doing? Because you're doing what? You're offering value. Don't be so stingy to offer value that no one sees your greatness. You want to be visible. It's just like when you're in the workplace. Remember in the workplace, you want to make sure you got the jobs or those small projects that put you in front of the room with everybody so everybody can see how amazing you are. It's the same thing because we know we have all, okay, let me say this. I have had great projects. Great feedback. End of the year, Uche is excited. She's this. But guess what? No one really knew about it. You want to position yourself. Everything you do in the workplace is the same thing you have to do outside of the workplace. You want to make sure that you're visible. Over 70% of jobs are filled before they're ever posted. Fact. That's a fact. When we're seeing these jobs come up, 30%, 40%, I'll give that. AI doesn't hire, people do. That's why I said that when you get past those AI filtering, because the people are the ones setting it up, you want to make sure, and I get it. Uche, I'm not 100%. Uche, I can only do this. I can only do 70% of the role. Do that and do the ones that you're 100% that you can feel all of that as well. It's not one or the other, it's both. And then your online presence is your first interview. So I'm going to show an example. I just put this here where you can see me providing feedback. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now. And I am going to show you real time what it looks like when on my LinkedIn profile of what I do, because I'm doing engagement, right? I'm an entrepreneur. I want to get business, right, with organizations and companies. So I had to I had to reframe how I talk to myself in terms of what feedback I was telling myself. So this is my LinkedIn profile that I have worked on. I constantly work on it. It's a living profile. And here is who I'm targeting as an example. And then I even had to change how I showed up here, where it's showing like, this is what I do, this is who I am. But for certain jobs, if I was in a project manager job, you definitely would see numbers on how much money I saved right? So for a project manager, it's either saving money or delivering things on scope or ahead of time, right? So you, because that's what people look for. That's what they're looking for. And these are like all my analytics. This is private to me. These are my impressions. And these are job searches. What I like about the job searches as an example, because it tells you what companies that people are looking for. And then here it says start to post, it tells you this stuff. And one thing I do also like is that when you're seeing where people work, it will also give you names of where people are. And then you can go and message and inbox them. Like, hey, I saw you through my profile. Just wanted to connect. Thanks for stopping by. Simple, right? Very simple. So here, this is in the service provide standpoint, but this is what I want to show you. Is here is showing posts and comments. So I'm not going to tell you to do something that I don't do. Let me just say that 100. I post almost every day. But in terms of comment is really where you get to meet and get to talk to people. That's the engagement. So someone had made a comment on a post I did. She said, thanks for sharing. I replied back to her. That's the way that you provide comment and feedback. Dr. Marlene just got her PhD. I said congratulations to her. And I had made a comment here about, again, this is something that's happening. It's a theme, shooting your shot. This is something that has been going on with a young lady that has started because she was trying to find a job. And my comment was, I love the support. I love the support that is being provided by the community here. Keep pushing forward. And she's like, absolutely. Here's what happens. That got 205 impressions, meaning it showed up. Where is this at? Where's my mouse? It showed up. My mouse is acting up, y'all. Okay. It showed up and it's showing the impressions. I'm a little nervous. My mouse is acting up. Hold on. So now I got to do it. Okay. So here's another example. Being funny. He's talking about, his comment here is about jobs that are paying under 50,000 should have a one-part interview where, you interview 5 or 6 times. And he's like, that's insane. But here's the thing. If you look at his stuff, you see he got over 320 comments and 83 reposts because what he's posting is real and relevant. And when you want to get engagement and you want people to come to your profile and see what you're doing, you are making comments as well. Not the Hunger Games, I said, great illustration. So my point is, these are certain things. I'm doing this and I won't tell anyone else to do this. The example that I put is Kimberly. She had made a post asking how come people don't use professional emails when they're searching for jobs. And Jennifer, who is chief of staff as a hiring manager, she said, I set up a special email with my first name, last name for the purpose of job searching. And I said, did it help? And she responded back, we are now connected. So it works. It works. That's my point, is building engagement. The difference is that when you are finding a job, and if you're looking for let's say if you're looking for a project manager job, as an example, I'm just going to put this out here, right? This is an example. Up here, it tells you if you're looking for a job or post. I like to go to post because people are posting jobs real time. And someone just posted an hour ago, I'm hiring. You don't even want to be interested. Program manager in Tallahassee. That's from Sierra, who is at a staffing agency. This person here, she is a coordinator. She's saying that she's looking for a project manager to join her team. This was an hour ago. This is in Chicago, Illinois. And let's say, that how I showed you earlier about the names on how you show up. Let's see how many people here, just look at it as an example, project manager. If you're looking for a job, You will want to make sure that what you do as a project manager, it shows up. I'll go back to it, but you remember what I showed where you just said project manager 10 years here versus project leader, manage 4 million plus, agile and cross-functional team leader. You stand out. All right, Charlotte. See, Charlotte just came on here. She said, learned this strategy. Looking forward to results of learning this from you. Love it. Charlotte stuff. Let me say this. I looked at Charlotte's resume. She's a beast. She's a beast. A beast. And she is using what she has learned to make sure that she can get her next opportunity. So my point is that it works. But already, look at all these people here. None of them is showing their headline doesn't demonstrate what they know. So when you're looking for a job, you're going to stand out above any of those. Just want to make sure that I let you could see, like, the proof is in the pudding. They don't have in here what they're doing. They don't have the value that they're adding. That's the difference. Am I making sense, everyone? Please let me know if I'm making sense. So let's go back. So I wanted to show you that you attract and you don't chase. And what I mentioned before, which is project manager with 10 years experience versus project leader, deliver $4 million in programs, agile plus cross-functional team. Huge difference. That's right, Royal. It's called networking online. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. So, but you want to make sure you show up and you show out, because ain't nobody putting baby in the corner. For those of you who may not know that, I feel like I'm a little too old because I said that reference. So here are 3 quick wins to boost your visibility this week. Okay. The first one is share one story of a lesson related to your field, whatever that is. You're like, oh, okay, I don't know if I want to do this. I'm an introvert. You'll be okay. You got AI tools that can help you create something as long or as short. And not even that. Just go type in people who's in your field and see what they're posting. Go ahead. I'm giving you permission. Leverage what they're doing, comment on what they're doing, but I want you to create or share a story lesson learned in your field. It could be anything. For project management, how you didn't deliver on time, and that was a lesson learned with that. The second thing is I want you to, this week, comment on 3 posts from leaders or companies of the industry that you're in. Yeah, I know it's going to be, but you got this. Listen, for the companies that I post, when they're doing like innovative things and they're like, we just launched this, I am like on full blast. This is awesome. This reminds me of the systems engineering thing that I did. Or, I'm like, this is great technology. Are you using this? It's good because it demonstrates your expertise. I always say this, why be known locally? And locally means the people that know you versus globally, which is what you can do on digital online. No one can do you than you. And then I want you to DM one person in your industry asking for insight. Don't ask for a job. Hey, so I noticed that you posted this information. Can you tell me more about this? Or can you tell me how did it work? Or what was the impact after you did this? You're asking for insight because that's how we build relations. You remember when we first started working and you're like, hey, I just need to ask a question real quick. Why did this happen and this happen? And guess what? They were like, well, let me show you. One thing I know is that people do not mind talking about their jobs. They'll tell you all day, well, I did this and this is why we did this. And it's the same thing online. Do this for 20 to 21 days and watch your profile views and response and possibly DMs increase. Those are 3 quick wins, and you can do that starting today. You got this. You got this. I promise you, you got this. So, you don't need more job boards. You just need a strategy. That's it. You just need a strategy. And Also, too, I was talking to someone today and they were like, hey, I just need someone to keep me accountable or to keep me encouraged. And the reality is that we do need support team. That's really what it is. And because when you're working with people, they give you things to do, but if you don't have anyone to hold you accountable, it will go amiss, right? Even in the workplace, when you have an assignment to do, why do you think that we have daily check-ins or weekly check-ins where people are like, so tell me what you did? Well, what's the status of that? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. You need someone to hold you accountable so that you can see the movement and the progress that you're making as well. So if you're ready to find your new job today, or if you're ready to get stability, or if you're looking just for accountability, I'm offering one-on-one training sessions. They are um, they are available to you. I'll put that in the comments. And listen, you're not late, you're not behind. You're just at a pivot point right now. So let's rebuild let me help you rebuild your strategy with momentum. And if you're like, well, Uche, I don't know how to do the LinkedIn. You can use the scan code right here. And what I'm going to do is put it in comments as well on how you can download the LinkedIn strategy. Make sure you get this. So that's how you can download it. Let me stop sharing for a second because I want to show you real time what it looks like. Oh, so what you're going to do is you're going to get that link. And you're going to put in your information in here. And then it's going to take you to another page. And it's going to walk you through the process on how to get the downloads. Okay. And then also, too, you have an option if you want to go ahead and purchase one-on-one coaching as well. And what I'm going to also do is, in addition to that, I am going to give you the page on where you can purchase the coaching sessions as well, so that you'll have access to that. Any questions? Let me hear it. Come on. What questions do you have, everyone? Our time is almost up, so I want to make sure that I answer some questions. So I am putting in comments the link to purchase. Any comments? So y'all good? I've already talked. I know Charlotta. Yes. Roy, I've talked to you. So who else? I know some other people on here too. You're good? You good? Okay. So what I want to do is, first and foremost, again, follow me on LinkedIn. Um, my name is at Uche Anye Maple. You can follow me on LinkedIn. You'll see I'm always posting different types of tips, especially in today's marketplace, on how to stand out. And in addition to that, yeah, this is true, Royal. And for those of you that do attend, you'll have access to this training for the next 24 hours. So I want to make sure you know that, and that way you can, always go back and take a look at it. But make sure you follow me on LinkedIn. And above all, don't be afraid to ask questions at all. You're not alone. It is you're not alone, and there's a lot of people that's going through this right now. And I definitely believe that my mission and purpose in life is to always provide strategies and techniques that are shifting people from one transition place to another. Okay, so everyone, have a great week. And we're having 4 more mini sessions coming up in the next couple of weeks where I want you to join. And then at the end of that, I'll be doing a 90-day deep dive on how to help you change your LinkedIn profile completely. It'll be a 90-minute session. You definitely have to register for it. Okay, but make sure you join, let other people know, and have a great one. See you later. Bye.